Hey guys, today I have a review of the VFC SCAR-H or MK17 or Mark 17. Before I get into it, I just have a few little updates. A lot of you guys have been asking me for a loadout video. I've never really actually put one up before. That being, my loadout essentially changes with every game I play. I told you guys I was going to put one up after the last Northern Lights game I went to, the big Lion Claws. Never got around to it again because my loadout's changing, work, school, lots of random stuff, and it is a lot harder to film than say this, just because I have to get my whole body in frame. My camera doesn't have a playback feature that I can see it from where I'm sitting. So just a lot of different small details. Anyway, I'm gonna get you guys one of those because I know you guys have been waiting very patiently. So expect one of those soonish. Anyway, onto the gun. Actually, before I get onto the gun, one more little thing. If you haven't gone to my Facebook page and liked that, go ahead and do that if you want. It's called Crevona Airsoft Videos. On there, you can find just information of what videos I have coming out. If I go to sell things, I like to post them on there, give the guys that are on there that have liked my page a little discount if they want to purchase something. So yeah, go on over and check that out if you want. Okay, now onto the gun. Like I said, this is the VFC SCAR-H. It's not the L. For those of you that don't know what the difference between the H and the L is, the H, it has a larger magazine. On the real steel, it shoots a 7.62 variant. On the SCAR-L shoots the 5.56 NATO. So this would shoot a bigger round than the L would. Airsoft purposes, the magazines are not interchangeable. The SCAR-H has its own fatter magazine than the L does. So that just kind of answers that question right there. Anyway, this is the tan model, obviously. It also comes in black. I believe VFC has made a few kind of two-tone variations with black lower, tan upper, or black upper, tan lower. I prefer the solid tan. It's what the guys overseas are mainly using, or mostly using, if not exclusively. I like the realism of it. Anyway, the lower receiver and the stock, stock, and pistol grip are plastic. All the other parts are aluminum. No, I don't know. It's some sort of metal, but I know it is CNC. This upper receiver, and all the other metal goodies on there. This is, I kind of have a weird setup, I guess. My upper receiver and stock are from the newest generation, the generation that has the licensed trademarks, which I'll go over in a second. While the lower is from an older generation, I think the last gen. The reason for that is because I bought two of these. One was just so I could have one, and the other one was because it came with 5 magazines. So I got it for the magazines and then I sold it. But the upper gen, or the newest gen lower that I got, it was having some compression issues, so I just threw that on the older gen upper and sold it as is. I was just like, I don't want to deal with this, whatever. But anyway, they are completely compatible. If you were wondering, I find that a really cool feature. I'll go over the breakdown and how simple it is to swap them in a few minutes probably. Anyway, trademarks. Up here you have FN Herstal, Belgium, SCAR-H, caliber 7.62 by 51, made in Taiwan, H00522 is what mine says. I don't know. I don't think actually they might be. I'm not sure if the serial number is unique or not. Again, didn't do a whole lot of research on there. Down here you have FN Herstal's logo, and this is licensed by FN Herstal below that. Other trademarks, I'm trying to remember. On the flash header up here, it says patent pending around the top. On the bottom, it says AAC for the type of suppressor. that this flash hider can use on the receiver. It has an A for auto, 1 for semi, and S for safe. This QR code, this is something that the previous owner put on there. It's similar to an armorer's number. If you don't know what an armorer's number is, it's what guys will write. They'll write numbers on their guns, so when they give them to the armorer to maybe fix it or do whatever, get different parts, they can put the same parts back together and get it back to the guy. So that's just a simple explanation of that. Anyway, charging handle, it is ambidextrous. Right now I have it on the left side. It's just how I like it. I know a lot of real steel shooters will put it on the right side just because it is a reciprocating bolt. Not an airsoft, but on the real steel. Bolt catch is functional. Pull the bolt back. Inside, you have your hop up, standard M4 AEG hop up. I think it is proprietary though. It is different than it's same in functionality as your other M4 hop ups, but the design is a little different. So far I've had no problems with it, so I'm not too worried about it. Bolt release is not ambidextrous on this. Everything else is, such as the mag release. You got one here, ambidextrous fire selector. But yeah, the bolt release is not ambidextrous. It's right here. You want to hit that, your bolt's going to slam forward. It does make a nice satisfying click, or clack, or however you want to describe it. But it is nice and satisfying. It's a nice heavy bolt. I really like that about this gun. Iron sights. You have your rear Knight's armament. Actually, no, this is Knight's armament. You have your rear SCAR style, I guess. Flip up. It is adjustable for windage, elevation, all that good stuff. It has 2 eye holes, I'm gonna call them. In the front, you have another flip up. Unlike the D-Boys, or the SCAR-Ls, I know, I'm not sure about the H's, but the D-Boys, Echo 1 SCARs, there is no button you have to push to flip this off. It's just kind of on this little retention spring, I guess. So that's a cool feature. Out of the box, comes with the gun, magazine. I think you can buy some that'll come with 2 magazines. It's just depending on the batch or the deal going on. The aim point T1, the pack box, or the scout light, they're not included. Those are my own accessories, as well as the foregrip. Stock, it's a 6 position. This being the shortest, this being the longest. Just play around with it, I guess. Find your own, whatever works for you. The stock is foldable. You have a button right here on this side to fold it. Press that in. It's going to swing in, lock in place. A lot of the VFC SCARs, as well as some of the D-Boys, I think they have a problem with locking. This one has the problem, but you know, I just about 100% of the time I'm playing with it with a full stock configuration, so it's not a big deal, and it does stay in place. It's not gonna the lock isn't as strong as you would think, essentially. I'm right here on this button. You have your cheek weld or kind of adjuster. You can go all the way down up to the middle position, or all the way up top. That's just to get a better sight picture on your whatever optic you got going on here, or just whatever is more comfortable. So that's cool. Battery space. The battery goes in the stock here. I didn't show you, but kind of signature to the VFC. There are no exposed wires as on the D-Boys, for the L at least. So that's cool. They run through this hinge and goes into the body. Again, cool little feature. Trying to think where I was going with that. Oh yeah, battery space. It does go on the back or in the stock. You have a pin here. Pull the pin out. Take the cover off, and your battery goes in there. It's an average size battery space, I'd say. If you're using a LiPo, which I use, it fits tons of LiPo, so I don't have a problem with it at all. I know some guys have complained about it, but that's if you're using a standard type battery, I can see how there might be a problem with fitting some in, but again, LiPos, which I recommend, totally fine. Generally, there's a fuse attached to the wires. I have since, actually the previous owner cut out the fuse. That's just to make more room for the battery, and I personally don't like fuses. It's just my own thing. If you want to message me about it and whine, complain, or ask me why, more likely, I can go ahead and tell you on there. Anyway, to take the lower receiver off, take this out first. This doesn't need to be taken out. I'm just going to do it. You have your pin here. It's kind of your standard AR pin. Pull that out. They are supposedly retention locking, so this wouldn't come out, but because the receiver is plastic, I've done it enough times that I believe the plastic has just kind of worn down, and so it does pull out. It's not something to worry about. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, I ran out of space on my camera, but I was talking about I took the pin out, and then to separate the receivers, you pull down on them. That's about as easy as it gets for separating an upper from a lower. The gearbox is standard version 2. It does have an elongated air nozzle as well as some kind of miscellaneous parts that go to the ambidextrous fire selectors. As for maintenance or taking this apart and stuff, once you get it out of the body, it's really easy to put apart or take apart, put back together, because it is your standard version 2. But putting it back together is kind of, it's not my favorite. It is doable, but it is fairly annoying because of these ambidextrous selectors and the parts inside them, and just how you have to kind of manipulate the gearbox to get back into the receiver. It is kind of a hassle, but again, it's doable. I've taken this apart about 2 times now, so I guess with practice, it'll get easier. I'm not going to take apart the rest of the upper for you, but in order to do so, you would slide the stock off and then take out a bolt spring. I think it's a bolt spring, buffer spring, I think. You'd slide that out, and then you could slide your bolt all the way back, take out the charging pin or charging handle, and then the rest of the bolt would slide out. And that's how you would swap sides for the bolt as well. To take out the barrel, you would unscrew these 4 screws on this, and then these 2 up here on your 2 side rails. In order to do that, VFC have included a little tool here, your gas block, which on the real steel you would switch for suppressed fire or normal fire. That can be moved all the way around and then slid out. The first thing that come out is a hop-up adjustment tool. It's just kind of a little pronged device that you can adjust your hop-up with. If you take that off, it's a hex wrench, and it fits all these screws perfectly. And then once those screws are out, you can slide your barrel and hop-up off and swap it for a tight bore or whatever else you want. Put it back together. You're going to pop the lower in. Do be careful about the bolt release. The bolt release tends to kind of fold in, and so the receiver won't slide on. Once the bolt release is set, you can slide it right on. Take the pin, and slides right in, and then you're good to go. You're all set again. So, trying to think what else there's to say about this. Top rail, it's monolithic, runs the whole length of the receiver. It has markings from 1 all the way to 41 at the front. That's just so you remember where you're putting your stuff if you're sighting it into an optic or whatnot. I talked about the stock positions, but to adjust the stock, I don't think I mentioned it, is this little button. You press down on that, and then you can play with it however you want. Sling points. I can't remember if I talked about this before my battery or the camera ran out of memory or not, But sling points, you got 2 on the rear here, 1 on the rear on this side, and then 2 on the front on each side, or 1 on each side. Again, like the MP7 I did a review of, link will be in the description, by the way. They're smaller. They can't really accept your standard sling style adapter or whatever your sling uses to mount to your gun. Again, like the MP7, I've seen guys use the key ring thing. They'll hook key rings through here and then attach their slings. It works fine. Or you can get rail mounted sling mounts that'll work for your gun. As well, there is a slit here on the stock, and that is also for a sling. So there's options. You might need to kind of play around with it, but there's definitely ways to sling up this gun. Magazines, again, I can't remember if I talked to them before the camera ran out, but I got a few gripes about them. The bottom here, this some kind of like a Ranger plate. It has a tendency sometimes to slide off, and when I believe one of them actually fell completely off during one of my games. And once that happens, the entire internals of the mid cap can come out. So I guess keep that in mind. A little glue here or there will probably fix that problem, but again, something to keep in mind. Another gripe, these mags, these are the mid caps. These are about $30 a piece. It's kind of stupid, but it comes with the uniqueness of the gun, and if you can afford it, or you have the opportunity to get mags like this, I say go for it. I think they're sweet. I've always liked the 7.62 style fatter magazines. Another gripe, or not really a gripe, kind of my own personal error. All the magazines I have, I've got about 5 or 6 of them. They were having feeding problems at my last game. I initially thought it was the gun. I was getting pretty frustrated. I was thinking for $30 a pop, these things should work flawlessly. But they were having feeding problems. I slapped some silicone oil in all of them. I lubed them up real quick with a little, I think a barrel cleaner or something. I just shoved something down there a few times, and they started working fine. So I guess be sure to lube them if you want it to work properly. Again, it was my kind of user error, not the magazines. I've always used mag mid caps for the M4, and I've never lubed one of them ever over like the years I've had them, and they've always worked fine. So I guess I didn't really even think about lubing these up. So anyway, lube them if you want them to work. They might work fine. Could just be mine. Not sure. What else do we got? So mag release on this side. Your trigger. CNC upper receiver. All that good stuff. Rubber butt pad. Adjustable iron sights. I think that pretty much wraps it up. You do have 2 rails. I mentioned the top monolithic, but you have the 2 rails on the side and then the bottom rail. Again, for mounting whatever you want on there. I think that wraps it up. I want to thank you guys for watching. I know this has been a longer video. If you want to comment, like the video, or send me a message about something, feel free to do so. I'd love to respond to you guys. Without you guys, I can't really do these videos. You guys are what kind of push me on. Again, so look forward to a couple more reviews coming out. I've got an AOR1 6094 from Fly. I'll have a review on that up soon. If you want to see an AOR1 paint job tutorial video, be sure to head over to my MP7 review and like that. I'm doing kind of a little, not contest, but a little, I don't know, a little shindig where if I get 50 likes on that, I'm going to do an AOR1 paint job on it, kind of the Dev Grew Seal style. So a link to that video will be in the description. Again, my loadout video, that'll be coming out soon, hopefully. If I haven't gotten it out within a few weeks, yell at me, and I will. So anyway, thanks for watching. Comment, like the video, and subscribe.